Okay, welcome to the Lagos Cricket Academy TV first cricket show. Let's talk cricket. So, welcome to Let's Talk Cricket, the first show we're doing here on 2022. In fact, the first show on this channel. First of all, thank you to all the subscribers that are on the channel. Some of the people that are subscribed on this channel have come from BWTN Sports, so they've known me despite my 25 years in cricket. They've known me more for other things in terms of boxing and covering and doing interviews around the world. So now we're going to be doing a cricket show, which I think is long overdue and necessary. So what I'm going to do is try and talk you through various concepts, ideas, coaching philosophies, get to talk to other people. So much like I've done with BWTN Sports, we'll do the same thing over here with the cricket. So for those people who don't know, that would mean that I would be doing interviews with other cricketers, former cricketers, coaches, players, ground staff, a lot, hearing their views on the sport of cricket, and where I can share my thoughts as well, I will. So this first video, this first Let's Talk Cricket show, I'm going to talk about the England cricket team. I'm going to talk about the England cricket team. For a while now, the England Test team has struggled. They've struggled at home, which is usually England very strong at home. They've struggled away, gone to Australia and get an absolute thumping. It was very embarrassing at times watching England play cricket. And then they went to the West Indies with former England captain, now sort of like was director, came back as director for England, director of cricket for England, Andrew Strauss. And Strauss made some big calls, removing two of the best bowlers in the world, like two of the best people who potentially can take wickets for you, right? So he takes those guys out because they're a bit older. He tries to be smart and bring some younger bowlers in and take it down to the Caribbean with the idea of thinking, certainly the West Indies were playing, we'll bowl them over with our inexperienced bowlers or our second string bowlers. Didn't work out that well for England. The batting once again collapsed. So they didn't put enough runs on the board, and the bowlers weren't good enough. And James Anderson and Stuart Broad were probably sitting at home angry because they were England's leading wicket takers. I think Anderson is probably in the all-time greats in terms of wicket taken, and he's must be 40 now, and he's still taking wickets for England, still very, very, very good. The thing is with Anderson, he's probably in the top 5 best bowlers in England, period. You know what I mean? So there's not many bowlers that can compete with Anderson in terms of opening the bowling. He swings the ball both ways, and when the conditions suit, he can bowl the ball tremendously. And he's moved on, James Anderson. I do remember when, or Jimmy Anderson. I remember when Jimmy Anderson came onto the test, the World Cup one-day side, and he was swinging the ball round corners and everything. And then because Anderson, when he bowls, his head, his head tends to go down by the floor, and his arm comes over. He's not actually watching what he's doing. And a lot of the England think tank, the coaches decided, let's change that around. Let's make the adjustments. Let's change what we do with Jimmy Anderson. So they took away his ability to swing the ball. And by doing that, he got exiled from the England side. So he's come back into the England side, gone back to what he does best. And by him doing that, he has gone on to be one of the greatest bowlers in England's history. So those two guys get exited, kicked out the side. And by kicking them out the side, England struggle in the Caribbean and effectively get beat in the Caribbean. First time in a long time. England have this sort of tradition that they give the captaincy to the best player or the best batsman in the side. I don't know why they've done it. When Michael Vaughan with Graham Gooch, he was 40 plus. I'm going to come back to Graham Gooch in a minute. Graham Gooch was 40 plus. And then you had, I think, Mike Atherton took over. He was probably England's best batsman, solid. a solid batsman. He was given the captaincy. They gave Alex Stewart the captaincy briefly. They gave Nasser Hussain the captaincy, another batsman. Wait, hold on. Where was Strauss? Strauss came in. It may have been. When did Strauss come in? Strauss must have come in after Atherton. Oh no, well, Strauss was captain. No, Strauss came after Michael Vaughan. Michael Vaughan, Andrew Strauss. I think then Joe Root, isn't it? Yeah, then Joe Root. If I'm correct, I think. Yeah. So anyway, and it was also like when Michael Vaughan was the best batsman in the world, he went and scored like 200-300s against Australia in Australia. He was ranked the #1 batsman in the world. He was an absolute fire. Gave the England captaincy to him. And it's just the best players seem to saddle with captaincy. I don't understand why it is. I've never understood why England doesn't have their wicket keeper as captain. I've never understood it. They've always had their batsman as captain. And so they have a situation now because Joe Root, although he's a brilliant batsman for England, he's just not the type of guy you would look in a dressing room and look to be passionate in a dressing room. He's not just that type of guy. He's not like he doesn't have that dog in him as a captain. As a player, he's got that dog in him, but as a captain, he doesn't exude that sort of what you want to see in a captain, fight sort of thing. And he seems lost in as a test captain. He seems to not have much imagination as a test captain, and the team have suffered for it. The team have relied on Joe Root as a batsman for many years. Wait, Alistair Cook was captain as well of England, so it might have been Alistair Cook. Yeah, Alistair Cook, and then Strauss, Cook, Strauss, Root. Forgetting about Cooking. So yeah, and so they've put this pressure on Joe Root, unnecessary pressure on Joe Root. You got your best batsman, let him score runs. Let him score runs. You've got a batsman in the top 5 in the world. You've got bowlers that are in the top 10 in the world. You've got Ben Stokes is one of the best bowling all-rounders in the world. Okay, so why are you fiddling with the side so much? I don't understand. So here's the thing. The first thing is they're looking at who's going to be captain of England. If they have their way, England, they will make Ben Stokes captain, but I think he's injured. And Ben Stokes is like, they've tried it. They've done it with Freddie Flintoff. It doesn't work. You're all-rounder because he bowls and he bats. And the problem with having all-rounders captain, if he hasn't got discipline, is that he wants to bowl every over there is, right? He'll bowl more than he normally would do because he's captain. It's his responsibility. So he bowls loads and loads of more overs than he normally would do. And when he bats, there's a responsibility. So he's bowling. Normally he might bowl 15, 20 overs. He's not the main strike bowler. But then he becomes captain. He feels responsible to bowl an extra 5 or 10 overs. Then he has to go and bat as well because the team are not batting well. That's the sort of pressure they're going to put on Ben Stokes. No, we don't want that for Ben Stokes. Not a good look. One guy I think that could be England captain is Stuart Broad. He's got confidence. He's one of the best bowlers in the world. And he has a presence about him, Stuart Broad. He has a presence about him that I just don't think Joe Root has. So that's one possibility. I know they've had Bairstow as possibly captain. They spoke about Vince, who's one of the best captains, English captains on the county circuit. And then there's another man. See, now, for me, I would like to see, and he's just scored 100 again, Alistair Cook. I would like to see Alistair Cook back in the top order. I'd like to see him in the top order. Even if he's not open the batting, maybe coming in at 3. As he's just scored 100, he's still in nick, and he's still the best opening batsmen England have got in this country. Now, I want to do make a point. Graham Gooch played, I was opening back until much later into his career. Before he was 40, Graham Gooch kept himself in good nick, kept himself in good shape. And at 40, Gooch was churning out 3-3-3 against India. Yeah? So Gooch actually became a better batsman as he got older. And if England can learn from that, they can understand that, yes, it's changed. Things have changed. The dynamics have changed. You want a red ball team that's winning things, you may have to stick with some older players, right? Because all the younger players are off playing T20 cricket. So unless you're going to stop them playing T20 cricket, I think I would like to see some of the older players get a chance and let them play cricket a little longer. So that may be a solution. Alistair Cook back at the top of the innings. I mean, he's going to bat better than Hamid. He'll bat better than he'll have a better average than Rory Burns. And Rory Burns is like, you know, he's got the best average in Test cricket for England as an opener at the moment. There is a guy that's opening bats at the moment. I like him. I can't remember the gentleman's name. Crawley, Zach Crawley, good batsman. Good batsman. England needs to take their time with Zach Crawley and have patience with Zach Crawley. So I think he's got a nice technique there. He looks like he could go on to do some really big things for England. Zach Crawley, top player, like him. But I'd like to see Cook back in the side as well. So Cook back in the side, bring back Anderson and Broad. Cook may not be captain, but I'd like to see him in there, you know, advising the captain. Maybe Stuart Broad being captain or Bairstow being captain, and then just Cook in first slip. Just giving little pointers here and there, and like as a mentor for England, bringing England players through. I'd like to see that, because I think at the moment the quality of English cricket isn't there, and if it was, they'd be on tour. So it just isn't there consistently. And you've got a guy like you've got Root, you've now got Cook back in the side, you've got Stuart Broad and Anderson in the side. It would work. It would work. And there's nothing wrong with a captain as a bowler. You've just got Pat Cummins for Australia, who's done a decent job as captain, and he's been a fast bowler. And he's upped his game. So I think Stuart Broad will make a good captain for England. I'd rather Stuart Broad than Bairstow. Let him just concentrate on bowling. Let Bairstow concentrate and keep wicket solid. Yeah? But I think Bairstow would make a good vice captain, so Broad can look at him and say, "Oh, how's he looking in the field? What do you think?" And Bairstow and Broad could work together. I think that would work quite nicely. Bowler and keeper, that I think works a good combination there. And you've got Anderson around, not as a just bowling, let him bowl, and you've got Cook in the slips. So you may have a little old England side, but that should not be a deterrent. And what I'd like to see England pick are the best players in the country, regardless of nationality. I mean, you've still got Archer to come back. The Barbadian who now plays for England, he's been injured. He can come back, and obviously he's going to be, depending on how he comes back from the injury, Archer will be key to England's bowling lineup as well. So I think England need to maybe readjust the way they're thinking about selection and not going with he's the best batsman in the side, let's pick him. And maybe more thinking about England, thinking about, okay, let's have some experience in this side. Let's stick with let's have faith in our older players. We want to win Test cricket matches. And if Cook's available, Anderson and Broad back. With Anderson, I won't play him every Test match. Or if I'm going to play him, I'd rest him. I won't play him every Test match, but I'd rest him. You know, like if a Test match is wrapped up, then I'd rest him and bring a youngster in. But I do think, obviously, Anderson's 40 now himself, so he's coming to an end of his career. But it'd be nice for him to get a nice swan song While he's still bowling well and still swinging the ball and still taking wickets, absolutely should be in the side. So that's my thoughts on the England side. Joe Root needs to give up the captaincy. On a side note, Chris Silverwood is now the Sri Lankan head coach. They must be desperate because Chris Silverwood did an awful job, a terrible job in England. Terrible job for England when they went to Australia. Terrible. They asked him a question. They kept asking him why England are playing so well, playing so terribly. He would turn around and say, "Oh, it's because, we've got to look at things, the positive side of things. The positive side of things are getting destroyed over and over again. Let's look at the positive side of things. No, let's look at why you're getting beat over and over and over again, and let's address it, and let's be honest." Even when the guy was about to get sacked, he's still talking about, let's look at the positive things. I don't understand. And now he gets a job at Sri Lanka. I don't understand. Sri Lanka must be very desperate because there's some damn good coaches in the world, better than Chris Silverwood. I don't understand why Chris Silverwood is now coach for Sri Lanka, but maybe it's something I don't know. The only other thing that I don't know about the England dressing room is that why Strauss took Broad and Anderson out the side. Whether he was trying to break up a team atmosphere. When you've got people like Anderson and Broad, you can have strong characters in the dressing room, and they also are leaders in their own right. Two of the top players in the world, two top bowlers in the world. Good evening from the Goat family. Good evening. You've got two of the top coaches, two top bowlers in the world in your dressing room. They'll chirp up and have something to say. And I don't know if that's been positive or not in the favour of the younger players coming into the side and less established players. And maybe Strauss wanted to break that clique up, because I've heard of many cliques or cliques within the England dressing room. So I don't know. I really don't know. But there we go. Those are my thoughts on that. So don't forget to rate, subscribe. This is Let's Talk Cricket, the Lagos Cricket Academy TV. I hope you've enjoyed our first Let's Talk Cricket show. That's it from me. Appreciate it as always. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. We appreciate you. Take care.